And so let's stay in London and talk to Dr. Tony Agbons, researcher, senior lecturer at the Anglia Ruskin University right there in the British capital. Good morning to you, Dr. Agbons. Thank you for your time. As always, nice to see you again.
Yeah, good morning, Ladi. Good to see you again.
And I know that the British capital is probably agog ahead of tomorrow's big ceremony. Well, let's start from there. Well, what's the temperature like in the British capital ahead of tomorrow?
Yeah, very good start, Ladi, especially with some of the reports you've been showing. So this is quite a happy moment. Yeah, we are all set, ready to go for the coronation of King Charles III here in London tomorrow. So it's all colorful here. There's royalty in the air, and we are all looking for this probably once in a lifetime opportunity, because coronation here is not something that happens all the time. I think the last one was nearly 71 years ago when, coronated way back, decades ago. So we are all in coronation mood, looking forward to it. And there's a public holiday, to wrap it up on Monday. So it's happy times.
Indeed, a long period of what some might describe as fun coming up. But outside of Britain, there's quite a bit happening. This alleged drone attack on the Kremlin, which was reported on Wednesday, and then now these other attacks being reported on facilities of Russia in Finland, and before that, I believe there was one in Poland. Is this war now moving to another stage now where it's left the battlefield in Ukraine and it's moving elsewhere? Are you seeing any evidence of that?
To be honest, I think the war, when you have a crisis like this, February 2022, and we are getting towards May 2023, so we're looking at a period of 15 months. So, like you have alluded to, I think the war is getting into the to the space of propaganda now, because for keen observers, when you look at this two-drone attack on the Kremlin, look, for God's sake, when we are talking of the Kremlin, for people in Nigeria, you talk about Aso Rock. Americans will talk about the White House. So this is the seat of power, the seat of Russian military might. So the Russians telling the world that two drones will attack the mosque on top of the Kremlin. So where are all their air defense, all their anti-missile, anti-drone, all those, their military capability? So people just look at this and they're like, probably there is, something fishy around this. This is just my own personal opinion. Some people may disagree with me on this. This is nothing but a flag operation, either by Russia or by some groups within Russia who are not, in support of this so-called military operation, which actually is a war against the nation of Ukraine. Just cannot happen. This Kremlin that we are seeing here is one of the most protected edifices, and this is the residence of the Russian President Vladimir Putin. So when you just look at it and the way it is managed, this is it's laughable. And a lot of international observers believe that Russia trying to take this war to another level of escalation, and they're just looking for that opportunity. So because it's a huge joke.
Please stay with us. We'll be taking a break at this point. When we return, we'll continue the discussion, because I still want to ask you about a couple of other developments on this conflict. Thanks for staying tuned. A warm welcome back. Dr. Tony Agbons, researcher, senior lecturer, Anglo-Ruskin University in the British capital, London, is still with us. Now, Dr. Agbons, I wonder if we could turn our attention now to some of the moves, both for peace and for further conflict. Let's start with the peace moves. Pope John Paul Pope Francis, I beg your pardon, Pope Francis had tried to step into this conflict earlier on. He wasn't entirely successful, and then more recently he's made mention of the fact that there is a peace plan, but he wasn't going to divulge any details. Now we're having reports from the Kremlin saying that, yes, we are aware that, you know, the Pope is trying to put something together, but we have not been handed any detailed proposals. Do you think the Pope is going to have more success, perhaps, this time than he did when he first tried to get into the peacemaking to resolve this conflict?
Yeah, thank you, Ladi. I think the move by the Pope is definitely going to yield some outcome. Like you said, late last year, he made some moves, and he was trying to put a peace agreement together between Russia and Ukraine. And this time around, I think the Pope is taking it further. He's made contact with both the Ukrainian authorities, led by Zelensky, and now he's made contact with, and from what we hear, and it's a glimmer of hope, and many of us believe that it's the right thing to do. And the Pope is neutral. Brazilian President Lula was also making some effort, but a lot of people feel that he's not entirely neutral because of the BRICS relationship that Brazil have with India, China, and South Africa. So this latest move by the Pope, globally.
And then, before I let you go, I just have a minute to ask you, do you think this war in Russia, or rather in Ukraine, will cast any kind of shadow on tomorrow's big festivities? There are some possibly big names that may not show up as a result of what's going on over there.
Not necessarily, but I think when you have a big celebration like a coronation and people are happy and celebrating and rejoicing, then you have a part of you as humans who definitely have a feeling of, oh, people they are suffering, people are in danger. So it may probably be mentioned in passing, and prayers may even be said that crisis, to be resolved. But there's not going to be a direct impact of the Russia-Ukraine crisis on the coronation. But however, that being said, security has been beefed up around the coronation area, and the route that the king and the queen will be, taking, and all the parade, security has been beefed up. You can never take anything for granted.
Indeed, we're about to witness something that most people in our generation have not witnessed. The last one, as you pointed out, being more than 70 years ago. So this is a spectacle for the ages. Dr. Agbons, thank you for your time and for your contributions on the program this morning.
Thank you, Ladi. Have a great day.
And you too.